So it stayed
uh,
zero.
when it floods, we hold it onto the tarp and let it circle.
This meeting of the Community Development Board is called to order on December 17th. Welcome, everyone. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This board consists of 7 members and 1 alternate who are appointed by the City Council and serve voluntarily. I am Chris Anaskevich, and I will ask the other members and the staff to introduce themselves, starting on my left.
Mary Lau.
Mike Flannery.
Brian Barker.
Jay Daniel, attorney for the board.
Lauren Matzke, Planning and Development.
Gina Clayton, Planning and Development.
Michael Foligno, Assistant City Attorney.
Elizabeth Van Scoy.
Jordan Behar. John Quattrocki.
Please remember to turn off your cell phones so that they do not become a distraction during the meeting. Please also refrain from having conversations in this room so that we might hear all of the testimony given today. To ensure a complete record of this board's actions, we ask that each individual wishing to speak, including the applicant, speak into the microphone at the podium in front of us, clearly state your name, and spell your last name for the clerk. Now I will ask all those in attendance today who plan to speak to please rise and be sworn in by the clerk.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give us the entire truth?
Yes.
Agendas of today's meeting are on the podium to your left near the entry door. Also on this podium are a roster of the Community Development Board, the list of city staff experts and their resumes, the board's rules of procedure, and the annual schedule of this board. Our first order of business is to review and approve the minutes from last month's meeting. May I have a motion for approval of the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next up are items not,
Citizens to be heard. Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. You're right.
okay. Next up are items not heard on agenda. Are there any citizens that wish to bring up an item that is not on the agenda? Seeing none, we will move on. We'll move on to the consent agenda. This board has adopted a consent agenda format, and the consent items are identified as such on the agenda. Consent agenda items are those items for which the Planning and Development Department recommends approval. The applicant is in agreement with any proposed conditions, and no written objections to the case have been received to date. Items may be removed from the consent agenda today by a member of the board, a member of the staff, or any person in the audience for questions or objections. I will read each item on the consent agenda item, and if any person wishes to remove this item from the consent agenda, please so state or raise your hand and we will remove it from the consent agenda. Items removed from the consent agenda will be heard in the regular order of the meeting. Items that remain on the consent agenda will be approved with a single vote. First up is case number 1, case LUP 2019-09003. The address is 407 North Belcher Road. The owner is Ian and J. Caputo Clearwater, LLC. The agent is Paul E. Caputo. The location is .729 acres located on the east side of North Belcher Road, approximately 1,075 feet north of Drew Street. The Community Development Board is reviewing a request to amend the future land use map designation from institutional to residential office general and making a recommendation to City Council. Does anyone wish to remove this item from the consent agenda? The next case is case REZ 2019-09002-407 North Belcher Road. The owner is E and J Caputo Clearwater, LLC. The agent is Paul E. Caputo. The location is .729 acres located on the east side of North Belcher Road, approximately 1,075 feet north of Drew Street. The request. The Community Development Board is reviewing a request to amend the zoning atlas designation from the institutional district to the office district and making a recommendation to City Council. Does anyone wish to have this item removed from the consent agenda? Seeing none, may I have a motion for approval of the consent agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I move to recommend approval of this item based on findings of fact, conclusions of law, and the staff reports.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. I would like to bring up one item. We do have a new schedule for next year, and on March 19th and August 20th, our meetings will be on a Thursday. So that's different than the usual schedule. Next up are director's items.
Great, thank you. As you probably, most of you know, all of our FLD applications are an actual electronic submittal. And so when we move cases beyond DRC, the applicant has to then submit paper copies. And we're doing some upgrades to our online system right now, and so we've been talking internally about the possibility of giving you all an electronic agenda packet. And so what we'd like to do today, Ella and Sherry have been working on this, and we'd like to show you what that might look like, get your feedback, let us know how you feel about it, whether you'd like to maybe try out going electronic or if you want to continue on with the paper packets. So I'm going to turn it over to Ella and Sherry, and they're going to walk you through it.
Good afternoon, Ellen Crandall. So right now, like Gina said, they submit electronically, and then before CDB, they have to submit hard copies. They do always have an electronic copy. That's generally what we direct the public to. They can also come in and see the hard copy. So right now, you could look at any of our recent prior cases electronically to get an idea of, is it manageable on your computer screens? Is it not, can you navigate through it? So I just want to run you through a quick example. So this is our webpage under planning development and then the DRC CDB. So here we're going to look at the live agenda from last month. And this is you or anyone in the public could go to it. It's a live agenda. You go to it. You click on the links. So this was a case we had last month. This one stayed on consent. And this will take you to the public's view of our e-permit hub. So there's just a little bit of navigating you have to be aware of. This pulls up the case. You can look at some of the details. But under the attachments is where you can see what their submittal is. Because this one was at last month, you can also see the staff report. You can see the issued development order. But to take a look at the plans, you click on it and they would open as a PDF. So this has all of their submittal, the stormwater, the traffic, the site plan, the landscape plan, all compiled into one PDF. So this is kind of what we want you to be aware of, if this is something that would work for you to review applications, if you could navigate it, if you could zoom in, zoom out. Probably the main thing to be aware of is just looking at larger site plans. Sometimes it can be hard to be oriented when you're looking at a very large site with a lot of sheets. But this kind of gives you an idea of it. We are making some changes. We are moving to an upgrade to the e-permit hub. It's mostly going to impact how we review things internally. It's going to version things by the sheet. It's going to be much cleaner. The only change that you would really see or the public would see when they're looking at plans this way is what we're going to do. We're going to have a CDB public hearing print set for plans and then a CDB public hearing print set for supporting documents. So instead of one combined PDF, you would ultimately see two, one's for the documents, one's for the plans. But more or less beyond that, it's going to be viewed the same, same live agenda, same link, same click on attachment, same open as a PDF. Do you have any questions on this, on navigating it? Do you want us to send you the links, or it's...
I've got a question. So if we'd like, could we save this on our iPad or desktop in case we're in a location where we don't have access to the internet, so we have that PDF?
Yeah, so right now it opens as a PDF, and yes, you could go on and save down all the PDFs,
Okay.
and then so if you're somewhere where there's not internet, you could have them.
Can we get them to show on here?
I believe so.
Yeah, on
On your-
this
Yeah, on the
right
monitor.
here. We can do that, can't we, Sherry?
You have internet.
At every meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we could
Yeah.
do that for the meeting.
Because we, as far as I know, we can't sign in on these, we don't have passwords.
Right now, we're just trying to figure out if this is something that you want to do
Sure.
before we move forward with it. It would, once you all decide yes, it would give us the opportunity for Gina and us to check with council as to be approved. I have to get you passwords. I would come in beforehand. I'd get you all set up just so that you can get up and running. What Ella's showing you today, I would send you step-by-step instructions that tell you how to get into the site from your office, from your desk, from your iPad, even from your phone if you wanted to, and take you through everything. You're going to be able to see the notices that went out, who they went out to. You're going to see a whole lot more than you see right now from me. You're going to see the whole picture. You're even going to see what was first submitted to us. You'll have the opportunity to see that.
Okay.
That sounds, I like all that.
Yes, sir.
Do we have a way to put our own notes on them somehow, like annotations like I can on Word? So I don't know how we do that.
You gotta print it.
That is probably something we would have to discuss further, I think, and determine whether or not that creates a public records request if you're taking notes. I think generally, if you take very short notes like, oh, ask about landscaping, but if you take very detailed notes, and this is me off the cuff, just identifying that as something that I would want to look at thoroughly before I say you can make notes and how you could make notes on the document.
It would
Or-
become
or-
public
Public
record.
record.
Yeah.
Yes,
Would
we
be-
checked
I
it.
mean,
If I could
as it
download
is
my
now,
own,
yes.
if I could download them and they're a format like a Word document, and I could, a PDF, if I understand on my own file, if they have a format where I could put my annotations that aren't shared, that would be really nice if I could.
Probably should be able to download that as a PDF and then use the PDF. I know you can, and then you just use the comment part or the highlight, whatever you want to use.
And I say that because I think there are small changes in formats the way you download them. It doesn't show us up under PDF, but there's annotatable and there's all the searchable, for instance, searchable, and they're not all PDFs are searchable type of thing. So if you could try to get that in there, and then also could you direct me where I can get some more paper clips, because this has been my supply.
Did you have a question, Jordan?
First off, absolutely, I think it's the right thing to do, so I'm all for it. But I am curious about the making notes. If we make notes on our own, like for example, if we notate these, this becomes public record, or would it only be public record if we noted the official, or something that stays in the system?
It's going to be a public record if you use it to perpetuate knowledge. For example, if you're writing and you share it with your neighbor, likely then it becomes public record. But if you're writing for your own purposes, I would say even divorced of its detail, it's not a public record.
And so along the same line, would we be able to bring our own devices in then? If we had noted on, say, a PDF, could we bring in a laptop and use that for reference during the meetings?
I think that would be some kind of a policy decision, but in terms of public records, it doesn't. A public record is a public record no matter where it exists.
I'm moving past, yeah.
Divorced of the device to be used.
Gotcha. I mean, we wouldn't be uploading our personal PDFs unless, I guess, requested, right? If we downloaded it, notated it at home while reviewing it, brought it in, used that for reference. I mean, I guess it could be requested that it would be uploaded, but we wouldn't normally upload at the end of a meeting.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to want you to upload anything into our case file,
not.
So I think that if we get firm clarification from the clerk that your notes on your plans are just for the purposes of the meeting and you're using that, we'll just want to make sure whether she deems that to be a public record or not.
And I think that would be, for me, the key would be is simply, it's just like any set of documents. It becomes hard to quickly cross-reference a lot of documents unless it's in paper form.
Yep.
So being prepared with it on my device, knowing like if I have questions, I could come in knowing where I need to look would be a lot easier than logging into this system, pulling up the generic file, and then on the spot trying to have to thumb through all these things while I'm talking and figure out where it is that I may have a question. So That'd be my only concern with it. Otherwise, I think it's great. We've moved away from paper in our office. I'd love to see all this paper go away.
Site plans. I agree with you and Mr. Flannery. I like the site plans on there. To me, you could zoom in and zoom out, and you're not trying to find a table big enough or have to open it up on the floor. And we take these to site visits often, and it's I don't know, noting different things. I guess that's my concern, especially with the staff reports. When I go visit a site, I take notes of what I see around the properties and stuff like that. So being able to do that, that's really important. I guess that's for the staff report, at least for me, that's important.
The only other question I guess I would have too is if we wanted a set printed or something specific, would we be able to make that request?
For me, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely. You also would have the opportunity to see it a lot faster than when you're getting it from me on Thursday, because 2 weeks prior, all that information's already out there. Sometimes just missing is the staff report that ends up out there on Tuesday that week. So by the time you get your stuff, it's Thursday night, you actually would be able to start seeing the plans, the notices, and all that prior to that. So you would have a little bit more time also.
And all those agendas would be up earlier
Yes.
as well, so.
Yes, and I also can email them to you, and the link is live, and you'd be able to link right on your email.
What do you think is your timeline for getting this put in place? Because I think it's a great idea too.
Well, I think this was our first step, was to see how comfortable you would be with it, and then to move forward. And, we kind of want to see what questions you had, what things we needed to make sure we addressed, like you would need your own device, can you bring it in, what are those policies, what are those steps, so we can coordinate with IT and so on. So this was really the first steps. I don't think we have a full finalized time frame to say, we have a go live by date of this. I know the changes with the e-permit hub are going live in early 2020, but this isn't going to be in line with that time frame. But that's kind of what triggered us asking a lot of questions of what could we change. And
Yeah, I would like us to get through the going live with the e-permit hub, and then, because that's going to change how our customers upload documents, so we'd rather start you when we're through that process, I think. And then the other thing that we'll be doing is, right now, you fill out an application online, but it's not printable as an application, so you are not getting the information that the applicant submits about how big their site is, how many units are proposed, this and that. So Ella's creating a new application, so that will be in there as well, and I'd like to have all of that in place, I think, before we start sending you to the electronic, if that's okay.
Sure.
We'd like staff to sort of get through this e-permit hub, go live, because it's a lot of work, a lot of changes, and then once we're set and we feel like we're in a good spot, then make it available that way.
So at this point, would you be sending us perhaps a link so we could start to toy around with it and look at it to see how comfortable we are with it?
yeah, we can send you a link. So I took you to our live webpage, so we can send that to you. You can look at like I said, we used last month's because it had more FLDs with site plans, so that kind of gives you an idea of a large, full application. We have stormwater and site plans and elevations and landscaping, so you can say, oh yeah, I'm comfortable navigating it, or I'm not so comfortable, or what can we do to help you feel prepared? I mean, taking notes is something I see, we can research other jurisdictions that do this. How do they take notes? How do they handle these things? So we can prepare you.
Would we be able to see letters from citizens, just
Yep.
residents,
Yes.
in opposition to and all that?
Yeah, I mean, this really will reduce the amount of work that Sherry's doing, because she's already uploading all this, because we have to keep the record and they get uploaded, and then she has to send them to you, and this will be one repository for all information related to the case. And another issue, I don't think it's a big problem, but, we get something electronically and the applicant submits paper, then we have to go back through and make sure that the official CDB version is in fact what people really submitted to us. And this, I think, will just reduce a lot of back and forth work for the applicant as well as for our staff. And if you all like it, then I think it's a win-win for everyone.
It seems
But
like-
if you're not comfortable with it, we understand that. So you can feel free to say, no, you don't want to do this.
Sure, yeah. We're not making a decision today, but we'll take a look at it, and it seems like a viable option, I think, is what I'm hearing from the board.
What I can do in the month of January, I can send you the hard copy, and I can send you the live link. That'll give you the opportunity to look at everything and see what you think, and you'll also have your paper copy in your hand, and that'll give you more of an opportunity to see, do I like it or not? Is this gonna work for me?
Does the city council currently have this arrangement? Or do they receive paper
Are they
copies?
not receiving paper from what I understood?
Only the mayor.
Only the mayor, yes.
Just the mayor.
Okay. I see.
I think it's a great idea. I'm sure we can work the bugs out as we go.
I think the only challenge is going to be on a really tricky project. You know, I think 95% of it's going to be easy electronically, but if there's something with a lot of large format documents, those are the hardest to see, you know, electronically, and the hardest to compare side by side. So I think in that case, we just request a print if we need it, and it should be easy.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
Yeah, but the printed copies are supplied by the applicant, are they not?
Currently, the
So
printed copies
if
are
we-
supplied by the applicant.
This will do away with the need of the amount of copies that by going to e-permit, correct? So if there's something that we need printed, we're just gonna have to get it printed. If they do away with it totally,
Correct. Currently, they have to give me 10 full sets of everything
yeah, they
that's
won't have to
coming
do
in.
that.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's not the city printing, it's them, yeah, but they
Well,
have
the
some.
city,
I know.
the city part
Has to
is
do-
the
yeah.
agenda and everything else that you all
Yeah.
get.
As well as the courier
So, I mean,
process.
yeah.
for-
So you don't have a large format printer then as part of the city? City doesn't have a large format printer?
We, engineering.
Actually, yes, we
Engineering
do.
does. I mean, I was gonna say, other than, or you just have an account with Jiffy and you just
Right.
get them.
Yes.
I don't think it's Jiffy anymore, but whatever it is.
I think what Jordan said too, it'll make it easier if in fact we can get this earlier, because I think it's easier to look at the paper copies, but I think if we can get it earlier, that's another win for us too, because being crunched on that last weekend makes it really tough. So,
Right. Well, when the agenda is finalized and we have everything uploaded, as Sherry said, she can send you an email saying the plans are all there, and if the staff reports aren't done, you know they're coming on Thursday.
I do tend to make a lot of notes, but it's almost always on the staff report if I'm making notations.
Yeah,
So
same here.
I suppose there's sections I could always print out by myself if I needed to, and I didn't need a whole staff report. But it's good to know we could get a staff report if we needed to, or plans.
Especially when there's so many items on the agenda.
Yes.
It's hard to manage everything, so the notes come in handy. You know,
Correct.
I saw this on this property or at this property, or, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I agree.
I can't imagine the cost savings, not only for the city, but for the applicants and at every end. This is a great idea.
Agreed. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
This board is adjourned at 1:23. Have a happy Merry Christmas,
Could I
everyone.
ask just one more question?
Okay.
Before you finish that, it just occurred to me, so that probably will also get rid of the courier that delivers the plans.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, that's gonna save something right there. Thank you.
Okay. Have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a Happy New Year. This board is adjourned at 1:23. Thank you.